Okay, so now we've got our piece of African mahogany. It's a little bit thicker than what I wanted it, but that's okay, that'll get sanded down. Our African mahogany, we've got our nice debarked cane body, and we've got our topper. We want to glue the African mahogany onto the top of the body of the cane, and we want it to sit nice and flush. And as you can see, we've still got some spaces in here. So I'll show you a little trick that I use to get both pieces flush so they sit together nice. This is a thick piece of glass, and on this glass I've glued a piece of 120 grit sandpaper. Now we're going to our block of mahogany. And just keep checking and looking for any spaces. Again, we're trying to get this as flush as possible so you don't see any gaps between the seam. Okay, so now we have our two ends, so they're fitting together nicely like this. What we're going to do is apply glue to each side, and then we're going to let that set. Set for a good 4 hours before we continue. There. Now we're going to put some masking tape around to hold these two pieces together. Oops. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to let that sit for a few hours. So now the piece of African mahogany is glued on, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to sand this down to the thickness that I want. I'm going to be using an orbital sander for that, simply because it would take too long to do it by hand. And I'm also going to round off these corners here because we don't need that. And you can do that either with an orbital sander, or you can use your hand tools to take that off if you choose.